Screen curtain off. Leapfrog Academy. Music library. Link. Image. Music library. 388 song and story. Video library. Link. Reading library. Link. Learning adventures. Button. Learning adventures. Reading video library. Link. Who's playing?
Hello there. Welcome to Leapfrog Academy. Tap your character with your name, then tap the blue play button to start.
Play. Button.
Play.
Play. Button. Introduction to preschool. Preschool foundation. Books. Game. Video. Music. Art. Button. Favorites. My world. What's new? Heading left. My world. Art. Music. Button. Videos. Puzzles. Games. Books. Button. Preschool foundation. My learn basics. Learn to read. Change my learn. My certificates. Read. Heading. Menu. What's new? Use box P. What's new? My world. Heading level. Favorites. Button. Art. Button. Music. Video. Puzzles. Button. Games. Button.
Games.
Games. Button. Aardvark adventure. Heading level 3. Maths. Aardvark circus. Aardvark age. Art. Music. Button. Art. Favorites. Age 3. Favorite. Art. Music. Video. Puzzles. Games. Books. Menu. Books. Game. Videos. Music. Button. Art. Favorites. Button. Age 3. Button. Aardvark adventure. Circus. Aardvark. Math science tools. Heading level 3. Aardvark advent. Science tools. Adventure sketcher. Learn about colors. Heading level 3. Creativity. Button. Feelings and health. Button. Learning friends. Heading level 3. Face matching. Heading level 3. Voiceover off.
Kindergarten kids. Our emotions. Tap the blue play button. I've got a good feeling. Tap the cards to learn about emotions. Afraid or scared. Angry. Surprised. Excited. Happy. Sad. Tired. Shy. Silly. Calm. How did Grace feel when she found her favorite toy? Happy. High five. How did Grace feel when she thought she was lost? Excited. How did Grace feel when she happy? Afraid or scared? Awesome. How did Grace feel when someone took her book without asking? Sad. Angry. Well done. How did Grace feel when she lost her favorite toy? Sad. Fantastic. How did Grace feel when it was nearly her birthday? Calm. How did Grace feel when it was nearly her birthday? Tired. Excited. Nice work.
Yeah! Marvelous!
Grace feels so many different emotions. Games, creativity, feelings and health, learning friends, face matching, play. It's time for marvelous matching. Match the faces to the learning friends. Tiger feels frustrated. Tiger feels excited. Monkey feels happy. Monkey feels bored. Tiger feels excited. Tiger feels excited. Monkey feels bored. Tiger feels frustrated. Tiger feels tap on another card. Monkey feels happy. Tiger feels frustrated. You've made another match. Monkey feels happy. Tap on another card to make a match. Rabbit feels sad. Monkey feels bored. Tap on another card to make rabbit feels sad. Rabbit tap on another card to make a match. Monkey feels happy. Try these cards. Monkey feels happy. Monkey feels bored. Monkey feels bored. Rabbit feels sad. Tap on another card to make a match. Rabbit feels sad. Great matching. Games. Kindergarten kids. Our emotions. Learning friends. Face. Kindergarten kids. Kindergarten kids. Helping emotions. Play. Listen to how Grace is feeling today. Grace is really angry. What can she do to calm down? Taking deep breaths can help you calm down when you're feeling angry. Grace is really nervous. What can she do to be less nervous? That worked! Hugging a friend can help you calm down when you're feeling nervous. Grace is really excited. What can she do to show it? That worked! Singing is one way to show that you're really excited. Grace is really happy. What can she do to show it? That worked! Cheering is one way to share your happiness with others. Grace is really sad. What can she do to feel a bit better? Not quite. That didn't work. Let's try something else. Try again. Grace is really sad. What could... Not quite. That didn't work. That worked. Crying can help you feel better when you're feeling sad. Grace is really frustrated. What can she do to be less frustrated? Not quite. Grace is real. I'm not sure about that. That didn't work. Oops, that didn't work. Let's try something else. You can do it. Grace is really frustrated. What can she do Grace is really tired. What can she do to be less tired? Not quite. Not quite. Oops, Grace is Good job. That worked. Taking a break to rest is a good idea when you're feeling tired. Grace is really scared. What can she do to be less scared? Oops, that worked. Taking deep breaths can help when you're feeling scared. Grace is really worried. What can she do to be less worried? That worked. Hugging a friend can help when you're feeling worried.
Yeah! Excellent!
You found so many ways to help Grace today. Games, creativity, feelings, and health. Kindergarten kids, our emotions. Kindergarten kids, helping. Art. Scout and friends, vibrant feelings. Play. How are Scout and his friends feeling? Color them in to see their emotions. Eli is feeling excited because his friends are visiting for a play date. Penny is feeling scared because she's about to fall off her balancing ball. Pencil. Art. Scout and Friends. Vibrant feelings. Puzzles. Kindergarten Kids. Our emotion. Science and the World. Ozzie and Mac. Making predictions. Play. Ooh, let's predict the future. What comes next? How will the leaves change? That doesn't come next. That doesn't come next. Puzzles. Arturo's. Different things. Music. Art. Puzzles. Videos. Music. All. Being a puppy. Play.
I am a puppy, my name is Scout. I want to show you what it's all about. Being a puppy, going on adventures with my best friends. We'll learn the ABCs and to count to 10. That's being a puppy. I wag my tail, I clap my paws, I run around, and it's all because that's being a puppy. That's being a puppy.
Music. In other words. Play.
Not finished yet?
Mr. Polka, leave it to me. Everything will be just great.
In other words, it will be wonderful. In other words, magnificent.
Why do you keep doing that?
Doing what?
Saying multiple words for things.
There are words that are almost the same, and so we like to play the game. In other words, let's play. That tree is tall. In other words, it's high. In other words, it's towering. That bush is small. In other words, it's tiny. In other words, it's miniature. Synonyms are words that are almost the same. They're alike. So sing along and play this game or activity. And if you do, you will be entertained. In other words, you'll have fun. In other words, you'll have a blast. That train is fast. In other words, it's quick. In other words, it's zippy. That turtle is slow. In other words, she's pokey. In other words, she's sluggish. That bear is big. In other words, it's huge. In other words, it's gigantic. That whistle is noisy. In other words, it's booming. In other words, it's thunderous. We found words that are almost the same. They're alike. And we were very entertained. We had fun. But now it's time for us to end this game. In other words, it's over. In other words, we're done.
Music. Alphabet song. Play.
I'm so nervous my pages are coming loose.
What if none of the children want to read us?
What if they don't even know who we are?
Don't be silly. I know all you books. You're the Frog Princess.
Oh.
And you're Mr. Sleepy Moon. And you're La La Lagoon.
Oh,
I love stories. My big brother Leap reads to us every day before nap time.
read me first.
No, me first!
Me.
I'd love to read all of you if it wasn't for one itty-bitty problem. I don't know how to read yet.
No problem. That's something you are going to learn about at school. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Hey, you stepped on my footnote.
Sorry. To read, you just need to know about the letters and...
Music.
Voiceover on. Landscape. Chart control center. 10%. 20%. 30, 20%, 10%. Volume. Do not mute. Flash note. Camera. Count. Page 1 of 4. Favorites. Page 2 of 4. Page 3 of 4. Selected. Screen recording.